Alright everyone, so welcome to the last episode in the Starting Strength Novice Program series. As you can see on screen, I've got week 14, week 15, and there also was a week 16, day 1 that I also ran, which involved a 95 kilo high bar squat for a set of 2, a set of 1, and I got no reps on my last set. I got a pause bench press, 75 kilos, 5 reps, 3 sets, and I also did a 3-plate deadlift for 2 reps. So that was the final day that I actually ran on the program. But here you can see the final full 2 weeks that I ran. And basically what we see here is good progression in the bench press, the press, the deadlift was going well. There is a slight typo on the deadlift. If you look on week 15, day 1, you can see that it should be 135 kilos for 3, not 5. So that's my bad there. But apart from that, all my lifts were progressing really well, but the squat was still lagging. It wasn't quite the linear progression you would expect. For example, if you look at week 14, when I was, just getting into the high bar squat, I decided to change from low bar to high bar, and I'm finding the high bar a lot better for me personally. I know some people are the other way around, but it seems to be a lot of people commenting on this channel. I've also found the same thing, that high bar tends to suit them a lot better than low bar, for whatever reason that may be. But anyway, yeah, so I switched to high bar, I did 80 kilos, felt all right, then went up to 90, felt pretty good. But then on day 3, week 14, my strength was not there at all. And then, after a good weekend of rest, I went back on week 15, day 1, and the squat was still lagging behind. I couldn't even get what I got previous on that week. So that was a bit discouraging. But then again, I finished week 15 with that 90 kilo squat, 5 reps, 3 sets, which was fine. But basically what I was finding at this kind of, I say advanced stage in the novice program, I guess so, I've been running it for 15 weeks, was that my squat is the lift really, although the program focuses on the squat, ironically, that was the lift that I really struggled to get up. I made some good progress at the start, because obviously starting out in this program, my squat was really weak, like down in the 30 kilo range, like that week. But so, obviously I made a lot of strides early on, but then it really stopped and I had to reset a few times. It was always in between that 90 to 100 kilo range. So basically why this is the end of the program is I've switched up the programming slightly. So it's the same exercise selection, but what I've been running for the past 2 weeks is something which really emphasizes the squat basically. So I'm squatting at a higher frequency but slightly lower volume, and it's working really well. So I'm excited to tell you guys about the new program that I'm running, but that's kind of the main reason behind it. And I know obviously perhaps my technique wasn't absolutely perfect in the squat, it definitely isn't. But I was just having problems with that 3x5 setup that Starting Strength has you do for progressing on my squat. For whatever reason that may be, maybe it's a psychological thing that I've got in my head, but I've switched it up and now I'm making progress again. So, I'm not messing around with the exercise selection. I like it. I'm getting better at all these movements, so I'm going to stick with that. But just the frequency and volume has been changed. Now I know people have done very well with the squats in this program. Obviously, that's evident if you look at other people who've ran the program, and a lot of people who subscribe to this channel have already been through this novice progression, and they've got their squat up to 3 plates, which is really good. But for me, whatever reason, I've struggled with that, and I know I've spoke to a few people on this channel who also seem to have stalled out on the squat in this program as well. So that's interesting to note. But yeah, let's get into some training clips now. I'll talk a little bit about the clips, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so we're starting off the training clips today with an AMRAP on the neutral grip chin up. Well, to be honest, obviously I was going to do my full range chin ups weighted, but I wasn't feeling it. The movement was feeling awkward for me on that day, so I decided, why not just try as many reps as possible. It would just be an interesting experiment, especially at the end of my session. So obviously I had done a couple of sets of the weighted full range chin up, but it hadn't gone exactly as planned. It was feeling awkward. So I thought, why not try it? And I got 16 reps, which I thought was pretty good. I was happy with that. I'm pretty sure I could get 20 if I was fresh, maybe even a few more. But for the end of the workout, getting 16 reps, pretty happy with that. And I'll retest it in a little while again at the end of one of my sessions, to make it fair, and hopefully I'll get that 20 reps, see that progression there, because obviously a lot of people think to get your chin up in terms of your bodyweight chin up reps, you just have to keep focusing on that. Well, that's not necessarily the case. a good way to do that is just getting stronger at weighted variations of the chin up, and then your body weight chin up will automatically become easier. You'll automatically be able to do more reps on that. That's just something I've found personally. But yeah, as you can see, the next clip here is the 135 deadlift for 3 reps, and following this clip is going to be the 3-plate deadlift for 2 reps. Now, of course, my ego came into the equation here, because really I should have stuck with this 135 until I got 5 reps, then progressed on to the 140. But because I knew it was going to be the end of my starting strength, novice program that I was running, I decided, why not? I wanted to try and finish it with that 3-plate deadlift. That was a goal of mine, and I did that, so I was happy with it. But yeah, I know a lot of you will probably be wondering, why change the program, Sam? It was all going well. Well, like I said earlier, it was all going well for the majority of my lifts, but my squat was just stalling out, and for whatever reason that may be, I didn't want that personally, because my weakest lift is the squat. So all that this program was going to facilitate for me personally, for whatever reason, was just going to be my other lifts all getting really, really strong, but my squat starting to lag behind further and further. In fact, I could even see in the future, if I did continue with this program, that my bench press would have got stronger than my squat. I could see that happening, and that to me was unacceptable. So that was why the program changed to something that really, really hammers the squat. And it's been working well. So again, excited to tell you guys about that. Alright, so as you can see on screen at the moment, I'm just finishing my set on the 75 kilo bench press, I believe this was. Might have been 72 and a half actually. I can't remember which footage this was, but I did finish the program with a 75 kilo pause bench for a set of 5, which really happy about. And this was when I went for the max attempt, doing that 90 kilos. And as you'll see, it wasn't too much of a grind on the way up. So I feel like perhaps there was a little bit more in the tank, maybe 92 and a half, maybe even 95. But that was a pretty accurate estimation of my 1 rep max, or at least 95%. So, I'm happy with that. I just didn't want to go to an absolute grinder just to get it up. But here's a bit of the high bar squat that I've been doing. As you can see, it's looking a lot better than my low bar squat technique. And even my high bar now is looking a lot better than that, because obviously I've been working on it. I'm a few weeks behind with these videos, but still I'm happy with how it looks in this video. Obviously there are some tweaks that I've made. My back's staying a bit more upright, there's not as much forward lean, which is good. And I'm keeping that lower back in a slightly better position now as well. But still, this was 90 kilos on the bar, which is relatively heavy for me. But actually at the moment I'm currently squatting above 90 kilos now every single day, so it's not that impressive to me at the moment. But the thing is, my squats were making progress on the starting strength, but what I was finding was, like I've said before, I kind of boost them up. Okay, 90 kilos, I can do that. 95, fine. Get to 100 kilos and it'd just fall apart for whatever reason. And this is why I think perhaps maybe it wasn't inherently the program's fault, because I know a lot of people have absolutely blasted through that. But I think for whatever reason, that 3x5 100 kilo squat, it just became a mental barrier, a psychological thing for me, and I had to change it up. So I'm not saying that the starting strength program won't increase your squats above that. Obviously it's renowned for getting people extremely strong on the squat. But for whatever's happened with me, whether it's a physical thing that's happened or it's psychological, I've just had to change the program. But like I say, same exercise selection, the same goal, just to get stronger on these big compound movements throughout a full range of motion. And this is a good example of how the starting strength program worked really well on my overhead press on screen. This was 60 kilos, so obviously quite a big milestone. I know a lot of people who follow these videos, you're shooting for that 60 kilo overhead press as well. Some people have even surpassed that, obviously, but and it went up well. And I was really happy, because to get this, I think I was doing my work sets with 54 kilos. So if you're somewhere in that range, well, as far as I'm aware, you should go for that 60 kilo press. It is in you. And I think it's really good to go for that, because when you're doing your sets with a slightly lighter weight, in your head that you're capable of overhead pressing 60 kilos, which really helps from a mental standpoint, in my opinion. Because, when you're trying to unrack that 54 kilos or whatever it'll be, in your head that you've done more weight. So getting that first rep out of the way is really important, because oftentimes I find the first rep to be the most difficult rep. I found that true with squats as well. You know, obviously it does get more difficult as the set goes on in a way, but it is also that first rep that can be really, really tough to get out. And I think how well you do in your first rep really sets the tone for the rest of your set. You know, if you do your first rep and it's a bit shit, or it's a bit of a grinder or something, it doesn't set you up well. But if you do that first rep and you get like perfect technique, really fast rep, I think it sets you up and stands you in good stead for the rest of the set. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and lots more content coming soon.